Elston Howard sends a grounder to Pee Wee Reese. And these Dodgers at last are world champions. Delirious with joy, teammates and fans mob the Brooklyn pitcher in wild acclaim. In the Dodger clubhouse is the pandemonium only a great victory can generate. And setting the zany pace are Gil Hodges, Duke Snyder, and Don Newcombe. This is Brooklyn's greatest baseball day.
Now only Aparicio stands between the Dodgers and victory. Little Louie flies out to Wally Moon. The Dodgers win 9-3 and bring Los Angeles its first baseball world championship. The players swarm around Larry Sherry, outstanding hero of the series.
It's a tap back past the mound of Maury Wills. He grabs it, throw to first. It's all over. The Dodgers win it. The Dodgers win it. In the ninth inning, no runs for the Yankees on one hit, one error, and two runners are left on base. And the final score, the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1.
Ball 2, strike 2, 2 out. Killebrew on first. Dodgers leading 2-0. A step off. He did it. Sandy Koufax gets his 10th strikeout, his second consecutive shutout of the Twins. On Monday on a 4-hitter, today on a 3-hitter. Every pitcher, of course, likes to finish a game with a strikeout. This was, of course, not a game. This was the 7th game of the World Series. And the totals for the Dodgers: 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. For the Minnesota Twins, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. And so the two teams, picked by practically no one to be playing in the World Series, carry it down through 7. And the Dodgers have won the 1965 World Series. Koufax is the winner. In this series, he has won 2 and lost 1. He scored the 1 shutout in Dodger Stadium, where every pitcher likes to pitch, and the shutout today in Metropolitan Stadium, where very few pitchers like to pitch. Jim Cott, the loser, worked 3 innings, was followed by Al Worthington, Johnny Klipstein, Jim Merritt, and Jim Perry. Koufax won it, Cott lost it. As these same 2 pitchers duel for the 3rd time in the World Series. As it turned out, Lou Johnson's home run in the 4th inning was the only run that Koufax needed, but they scored another in the same inning on a double by Fairley and a bouncing single over first into right field by Wes Parker. So the Dodgers are the world champions, defeating the Twins in this final game by a score of 2-0.
Welch continues to throw in the Los Angeles bullpen. Watson hits it high in the air. For the center fielder, Ken Landreau, this should do it. The Dodgers are the 1981 champions of baseball.
And so there has not been usual noise making. It became apparent midway in the game, almost with the departure of Tommy John, that the Dodgers would take command. Now the Dodgers leave the field. Keith, I think it's time for Jim, you and me, jointly to congratulate them on their acquisition of the World Series championship. Lasorda, kissing Peter O'Malley too, for that matter, but Mrs. O'Malley and everybody else. For the first time in history, we have a 3-way tie for the MVP. Guerrero, Say, and Steve Yeager. And under any circumstances, all 3 were worthy contenders. Each contributed in his own way. Sentimentally, maybe Ron Say the most. But anyway, Keith, there it is.
3-2 to Tony Phillips. Lansford down the line from third with 2 out. Steinbach on deck. 5-2 Dodgers in the 9th. Got him. They've done it. Like the 1969 Mets. It's the impossible dream revisited. A fastball 9
strikeouts for Hershiser. He gives up a total of 4 hits, and look at the mob. It looked like he was going to be replaced, but he hung in there. Bulldog is quite a name.
And meanwhile, Jose Canseco quietly goes back to the dressing room. The biggest single gun for the Oakland Athletics, thoroughly muffled in the series. And Mr. Oral Hershiser Sr. can finally relax for a moment. The A's, a great hitting ball club, hit 177 in the series and scored a total of 11 runs in 5 games.
Never would have believed it unless you saw it. You'd have to attribute it to pretty good pitching. Very good pitching.
And especially by the leader on the staff, the master of the house, Oral Hershiser, who has had really the most remarkable length of success of any pitcher I have ever seen.
And rooting. Ownership. Andrew Friedman. Dave Roberts. And strike 3. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. John, the Dodgers just showed too many ways that they can beat you in this series. Power, speed, defense, clutch hitting, big-time pitching. Dave Roberts pulling the strings and making right call after right call out of the bullpen. And over the last 32 years, the Dodgers have knocked at the door for this a few times. This year, they kicked it in.
You know, it's amazing. They were down 3-1 to the Braves. They played flawless baseball from that point on, and almost flawless baseball in the World Series. This is a complete team, a team that had a lot of hurdles and a ton of pressure on them. These are 2 different teams got here 2 different ways. 2 great teams representing their cities. The Dodgers had the weight of the world on them, and I'm telling you right now, there is a relief that you cannot understand until you've been there, done that. And they have answered a lot of those questions.